A rapper who is among those who were shot and killed in a gun battle in downtown Atlanta.
A total of 6 people were shot. 3 have died. One of them, a rapper Davon Bennett, who goes by the stage name King Von.
King Von was not your ordinary street rapper from Chicago. The police knew his name long before the music industry did. He learned to kill before he learned to rap. And for all the 12 murders he confessed in his song, he somehow walked free with no witnesses and no evidence. People started calling him hip-hop's first serial killer. And honestly, they had a reason to. Von tweeted about murders like they were memes, leaving the world to wonder.
Was that a fucked up individual? No, it was a demon living in Von.
Something was wrong with him. That's not human, man. You're not regular, man. Nigga was the devil, man.
Was he a lyrical genius or a real-life serial killer?
He could have killed me a couple times.
Let's go back to where it all began, to see if King Von ever had a normal childhood, or if darkness was in his DNA from day one. Davon Bennett, better known as King Von, was born on August 9th, 1994 in Chicago, Illinois. It was the kind of place where violence was something you survived.
How old were you when your parents separated?
His father was a feared name in the streets because of his ties to the street gang, the Black Disciples. And when Von was just 11, his dad was shot dead by an unseen gunman.
My father was in jail. Then he passed away after.
That moment changed everything for Von. He started becoming the kind of man his father once was. By the time he hit his teens, Von was already carrying guns to school.
He was like, "Oh, we bringing guns to school?" You know what I'm saying? Like, "Oh, it's on now." He's like, every day from there, everybody brought guns to school.
Von was arrested for the first time when he was just 16. In August 2010, he was reported stealing a man's car at gunpoint.
They locked me up for a robbery, armed robbery, and armed contract.
He got locked up and faced up to 21 years, but was sent to a boot camp program instead. It didn't change him. If anything, it hardened him, but the first time didn't end up being the last. Most of his teenage life was spent inside jail cells.
But before that, I was locked up for 15 months, and then before that, 14 months. Just really my whole teenage year.
Von had a lot of legal situations growing up, just product of his environment.
Behind bars, he saw friends die, Odie Perry, Sheroyd. Their deaths changed Von completely, which made him even rap about it. When Von finally got out in 2012, the Chicago he returned to was even bloodier. That year, Von also lost one of his closest friends, Whitey, on his 18th birthday. He watched him die right in front of a convenience store. That was the turning point.
Turned into a savage, just really jumped off the porch after he seen White get killed.
His songs released later depicted the scenes of Whitey's death. After that, Von started hunting. He wanted to take revenge on everyone who wasn't just involved, but smiled a little on Whitey's death. And that's when his name began showing up in police reports for murder. He became a serial killer.
This nigga was a demon. This nigga was a devil.
His demon personality started making headlines when he killed a 17-year-old from a rival gang, Maud L. McCambry. Chicago PD later identified King Von as the prime suspect. King Von openly confessed by tweeting right after 17 minutes of his death. Then after an hour, he posted another tweet. He was mocking it like a joke, and even tweeted that police can't lock him up in a jail. This level of confidence can only be shown by a serial killer. All his fans started wondering what really happened. Now, right after this murder, another rivalry between Von and Wooski popped up. It started after Von's friend Whitey was killed. Wooski mocked Whitey's death on Twitter, and Von snapped. They started going back and forth online. Later, Von mocked the deaths of Wooski's friends. Wooski promised he'd outlive Von.
And they say that Wooski and 50 Shots was outside or some shit. That's where the hatred between Von and Wooski came from.
Even that didn't stop him from feeding his blood cravings in May 2014. When at a party, he spotted a rival named Malcolm staring a little too long. Hours later, Von and his friend Big Mike returned with guns. Malcolm was hit in the head and killed instantly.
Y'all niggas left the party and then y'all came back. Malcolm ended up getting shot and you got booked for it. They said you and King Von got charged with the murder of Malcolm.
A month later, Von was arrested for the murder. Big Mike confessed. Von stayed silent. Mike got 28 years in jail while Von walked free again. Von again tweeted to brag about Malcolm's brother. He used the code word serial to tell everyone he murdered without really confessing. The next rivalry of King Von is famous till this day, and the reason was the same. The young one made a mistake to mess with Von's friends. It was April 11th, 2014. Gakira Barnes, better known as K.I., who was a gang rival of King Von, was gunned down. She was one of Chicago's few female shooters who rivaled the toughest men in Chicago. K.I. had allegedly killed several of Von's friends, and Von had been messaging her days before her death, pretending to flirt while tracking her movements.
Yeah, I was trying to us. I was like, damn, you doing shit.
Yeah, he wanted to be her boyfriend.
She was hit 9 times in the chest, neck, and jaw. Within hours, Chicago police identified King Von as the prime suspect. He was questioned initially, but because of no witnesses, he walked away freely. After her death, Von's Twitter activity was chilling. He also mocked her in his song, War With Us.
Man, when you listen to the lyrics, he made killing somebody sound appealing and fascinating.
By the end of 2014, King Von had allegedly been linked to at least 5 murders, out of which 3 were official.
At the time that I was listening to his lyrics, homie, I didn't know that nigga was detailing some of the crimes he had participated in.
All followed by cryptic online posts. King Von was finally arrested for Malcolm's murder on July 14th. 2014. With no witnesses willing to talk, Von walked free in December 2017. The case was dismissed. When King Von walked out of Cook County Jail in December 2017, the first thing he did was head back to O Block.
When he came home with Dirk's support, his family support, he decided to take this music thing as another route.
During all of his prison time, King Von became a pro at beatless rapping.
Yeah, I used to be singing songs on the door and shit, beating on the door, and just really hollering, tweaking on some.
Lil Durk, who had known Von for years, saw something in him and signed him to Only the Family OTF, his own label. Almost overnight, Von showed up as the most promising rapper.
He had a whole image, you know what I'm saying? And he lived what he lives. He rapped about he lived, but he was good-hearted at the same time.
His debut single, Crazy Story, 2018, exploded. It was a clear documentation of his crimes.
Oh boy, what the fuck I'm known for?
But all the fame couldn't stop Von from reflecting who he truly was. He was a serial killer, and he kept proving it again and again.
Hey, look, some people need to be gone, bro. You know what I'm talking about, in order for shit to get better.
His money only gave him more power to keep the cycle going. He allegedly placed a $100,000 bounty on rival rapper FBG Duck.
I don't know.
That's a possibility for him to put $100,000 up.
Weeks later, Duck was shot dead in broad daylight.
The Chicago rapper who was gunned down here on one of Chicago's ritziest streets.
Police reports would later claim Von's name came up during the investigation.
And the person that killed him is out, ain't even charged. How you think them people feel?
Von later mocked Duck's death in the visuals of his song, Took Her to the O.
2 shots, I hit him in his shit. Now Bonte quick, what you finna do? Cause this gon' make the news, gotta make your move.
Then in 2019, the street life followed him all the way to Atlanta. That February, he and Lil Durk allegedly shot and robbed a man. They fired at him and took his money and jewelry before speeding off. Both were charged with attempted murder, robbery, and assault. After a few weeks behind bars, Von posted a $300,000 bond and walked out a free man. Even with charges hanging over his head, Von used it as fuel, dropping Grandson Volume 1. He was at the peak of his career, thinking he was untouchable.
I'm gangsta.
And that mindset would finally catch up with him. In November 2020, outside an Atlanta nightclub, Von ran into Quando Rondo. He was a rapper affiliated with NBA Youngboy, another one of Von's rivals. Von walked straight up and swung. Seconds later, gunfire.
Put the gun down! Put the gun down! Put the hands up! Put the hands up! White jacket! Put the hands up!
Quando's friend, Lil Tim, pulled out a weapon and shot Von multiple times. The man who survived every bullet, every rival, and every murder case died in a parking lot.
You would think Von been rapping for like 10 years, the way he do it, right?
To understand King Von, you can't just look at what he did. You have to look at why. Von grew up in a world where violence was survival. Every loss pushed him closer to that darkness. People online call him a serial killer, and by definition, he fits it.
Co-defendant Devontae Bennett were seen on camera involved in shooting Alexander Witherspoon.
He mocked his victims and bragged about it in songs. But even the boldest don't always win.